the cutthroat world of hunter and hunted, it's good to be an apex predator. Africa has several top dogs, but only one of them is an actual dog. Prey animals can meet their death by pack, pride, or ambush. Different predators, different strategies, each effective in their own way, all on the attack. Lions, feared, revered, the legendary king of the beasts. But of all the big cats, they're not the biggest, they're not the fastest. Proportionally speaking, they're not even the strongest. So what makes lions seem so regal? What makes them king? The simple answer? Pride. Lions work together as a pride to kill their prey.
And that allows them to attack not only larger prey, but allows them to get a much more consistent prey because they can help each other. Now, the adaptations of hunting in groups really is to do with the females. They cooperate with each other when they're stalking so that they can create the greatest amount of confusion when they eventually charge, and the prey that don't know which way to run.
Lionesses can run close to 80 kilometers per hour, but only for short bursts. So hunting some of the fastest animals on the continent means they have to get creative. To make up for poor stamina, they stay out of sight as much as possible. This also gives them a shot at an ambush, hiding in long grass near a water source, waiting for thirsty prey to wander within striking distance. Once the lioness downs her prey, a quick chokehold crushes its throat, cutting off the airway. The pride then butchers the flesh with molars like meat shears. That level of teamwork reaches far beyond the hunt.
Prides are made up of relatives. All of the females are related to each other, and therefore all the babies are related to each other. And they tend to all give birth at the same time. And that means that because they're relatives, the one female is perfectly happy to suckle any of the babies in the group. They may not be her own babies, but they're for sure going to be her grandchildren or nephews and nieces. So she can act as the nursemaid, and a wet nurse at that, while the other ones are catching the food and supplying the group.
The males rarely hunt, but they contribute in a different way. They defend their territory and resources from competing hyena clans and other lion prides. The males patrol territories of up to 100 square miles, defending their turf from rivals. The stakes are high. An invading pride will kill all the local cubs and dominate the lionesses to swell its own ranks. Repelling an invading pride demands brute strength and strategy. New research suggests that lions can actually determine the size of a competing pride by counting its roars. With that information, they can decide to attack or hold back. It's like a finely tuned military operation, and the survival of their pride hangs in the balance. This devotion to the pride, essential to survival and unique among big cats, is why lions are rightly called king. Lions get all the glory, and hyenas get none. Demonized as ugly, noisy scavengers that steal other animals' kills, hyenas have an image problem. Fact is, they're misunderstood. Yes, they scavenge, but they're also brilliant pack hunters, downing large prey like wildebeests and zebra. It's true that hyenas also prey on the young, the old, and the weak, even disemboweling them alive. And they do it all with that big, ugly smile and a blood-curdling cackle. So it's not hard to see why hyenas are such an easy animal for people to hate. Except that many other predators commit the same easy kills, including the noble and brave lion. As it turns out, the difference between hyenas and many other predators is only skin deep. Despite their skulking scavenger reputation, hyenas actually hunt and kill 95% of their prey. Don't let their looks fool you. Hyenas are intelligent and even brave. And they heroically protect their kills from marauding larger predators. They care for each other and can hear a pack member's distress calls from 10 kilometers away. These adaptations have made them a Serengeti success story.
Hyenas are much more numerous than lions are. We got maybe 2,000 lions in Serengeti. There's about 7,000 hyenas.
Hyenas wear down their prey through sheer numbers and endurance. They count on the energy of the pack, not an individual, even taking turns leading the chase.
By hunting in packs, it allows them to pull down bigger prey than they would be able to do if they were on their own.
Once they've run their prey to exhaustion on the open plains, the pack moves in for the kill. For hyenas, hunting is a team sport, anything to get the job done. But the rules around feeding aren't open to interpretation. This is a matriarchal society. Females rank highest, so they eat first, then the pups, and then the males. Any hungry jokers who get caught jumping the queue will get a walloping to remember from the boss lady. They also must endure the pestering of obnoxious and higher-ranking juveniles, or risk violent reprimand. Savage brutality isn't the only method of discipline. That shrill cackle can also be used to resolve disputes. Studies have revealed that the pitch of a laugh reveals age, and the frequency indicates social rank.
We only get these packs out on the open, treeless plains of the Serengeti. Once you get into the woodlands of the Serengeti, which is 2/3 of Serengeti, then the hyenas are solitary and they feed only on small prey.
Because they can adapt to whatever the Serengeti has to offer, they will almost never go hungry. A recent study conducted at Duke University pitted chimpanzees against spotted hyenas in a battle of wits. To be clear, spotted hyenas are not smarter than chimpanzees, but amazingly, they are fully capable of outperforming chimps in cooperative problem-solving tests. 2 chimpanzees required extensive training and cooperation to complete the same challenge the 2 spotted hyenas were able to crack in just a few minutes. In the wild, this problem-solving teamwork can be the difference between life and death.
Traditionally, people think of hyenas as being scavengers. In fact, they're only scavengers under certain circumstances, often when they're on their own, when they're hunting singly. And they're obviously extremely successful because they're very numerous in our system.
Even scavenging sometimes takes ingenuity. If hyenas see vultures circling in the distance, they know where to go for an easy meal. Spotted hyenas weigh 80 kilograms. That's half the weight of a lion. But incredibly, they have the same bite force, 900 kilograms per square centimeter. So if they find bones already picked clean, they can still crush and eat them to extract the nutritious marrow inside. A big cat wouldn't bother, and that alone is a reason why these incredible survivors deserve more respect. They might not be pretty, but hyenas always get the last laugh. For any animal to survive in the wilds of Africa, keeping up with the competition is critical. Some use strategy. Some use strength. Cheetahs use speed. Their perfectly adapted bodies can catch dinner in less than 30 seconds. Leave the brute strength to the lions and hyenas. At less than 80 centimeters tall and barely 50 kilograms, the cheetah is built for speed.
It can reach speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour. That is about twice that of a greyhound dog. It's more than twice of the fastest human on Earth.
It takes more than small size to reach that velocity.
Compared to other land mammals of the same weight, a very large proportion of their body is made out of skeletal muscles. These are the muscles that drive the limbs and movement. They have very long muscle fibers and very strong muscle fibers that contract at very high rate.
The cheetah's spine works like an extension of its hind legs. As the legs move forward, the spine bends and recoils, driving those legs backwards.
This then creates a lot of force at a very high velocity, accelerating the animal forward.
In order to fuel the high-speed chase, cheetahs have adapted an efficient way to breathe.
In order to then move that fast, you require lots of oxygen. So they have then physiological adaptations in addition to the muscular and skeletal adaptations. Is that they have very large nasal passages to allow lots of air to go to their lungs. They have relatively large lungs, and they have a very large heart that contracts at a very high rate.
Cheetahs are built for speed, but a predator cannot survive on speed alone. They have adapted different strategies that allow them to hunt solo or in groups. Female cheetahs with no cubs or cubs too young to hunt are perfectly happy to fly solo. When the cubs are old enough to hunt, they join forces with mom to hunt in a group. A rare but valuable strategy in the big cat world. Adult male cheetahs also hunt in groups. But whether solo or in a group, their slight stature limits the size of their prey. But that doesn't make the hunt any easier.
They focus on the smaller prey, but the very fast prey, which are the gazelles. Thompson's gazelle, Grant's gazelle.
The cheetah has world-class speed and hunting prowess, but it's not perfect. It has one major disadvantage: stamina. Despite its large nasal passage, if it doesn't nail its prey in the first 300 meters, it will completely run out of steam and go home hungry.
A typical chase is about 200 meters, and the chase is typically over in 10 seconds. So in other words, they don't run very far because of the speed that they generate is very hard on the animal's respiratory physiology.
To catch supper, the cheetah must get as close to its prey as possible, ideally within 50 meters or less. To get that close without being spotted, it stalks from behind bushes, trees, and tall grass. Once it's close enough, the chase is on.
They can't outrun the cheetah, so they zigzag. And the cheetah then, in order to catch the gazelle, has to also zigzag. very rapidly. They have adaptations in their legs, so the foot pads on their feet are rigid. Their claws are permanently extended for gripping, so they can turn very rapidly.
It knocks its prey to the ground, grips it by the throat, and strangles it to death. As the gazelle loses its breath, the cheetah's breathing returns to normal as those big nostrils bring in air. But even in victory, a cheetah, much like a hyena, has to be on guard. A lion may have caught wind of the hunt and be waiting to steal the prize. To prevent that, the cheetah eats extremely fast.
They gobble it up and try and get as much eaten as they can because they know that they're going to lose their prey most likely, and they have to feed their young at the same time. So they're quite vulnerable then to the predation and competition from stealing from the bigger predators.
All predators face challenges, but you gotta eat. The cheetah has astonishing speed. It's what they're known for. Even so, nearly 70% of its prey will get away. But that's life in the fast lane. They're called African painted dogs, African wild dogs, or African hunting dogs. Whatever you call them, these dogs are not man's best friend. They're vicious, pack-hunting killers honed for taking down large prey. This is not your average Fido, Rex, or Rover. They are African painted dogs. These distant cousins of domestic dogs know that there's strength in numbers. They live in packs of up to 30. Despite the large pack size, African wild dogs work as an efficient, organized team to catch their communal meal.
The more that are in the group, the more successful they're going to be hunting. They're kind of a mid-sized predator, so most of what they're trying to hunt is going to be substantially larger than them. So not only do they get tired out trying to chase them down, but then if you're trying to hunt a zebra that weighs something like close to 8 to 10 times your size, having all those additional bodies to help, it makes it a lot more likely to be successful.
This makes them some of the most effective hunters in the animal kingdom. African wild dogs successfully bring down a kill 90% of the time. Compare that to a lion with a success rate that's less than 40%. They're also very efficient, working fast to keep bigger predators from stealing their meal.
Once they spot something that they want to hunt, they'll start to actually kind of surround a little bit. They'll kind of run relays a little bit. So as the one starts to chase, as they tire off, then you have other ones that can take their place. So they kind of will leapfrog through the process, and then whoever can actually get a hold of the animal first will try to stop that animal. A lot of times they'll actually go for like the abdomen.
A dominant breeding male and female leads each pack, comprised of their offspring and relatives, with males greatly outnumbering females. The group bond is so tight that they're one of the few species that mourns the loss of a pack member. And unlike other predators, such as wolves, if the alpha pair were to die, the pack will completely disband and start over. Their pack mentality extends beyond their hunting abilities. In fact, for a pack of wild dogs, they are surprisingly non-confrontational. Extensive studies on these maligned and misunderstood animals have revealed unbelievable things. Outside the odd scrap between dominant and subordinate females, they run a very peaceful ship. They even maintain their own social support system. Bonding is regularly reinforced with friendly greeting rituals. They jump, squeal, wag their tails, and lick each other's faces every morning. Painted dogs will actually take on full-time roles suited to their skills. Long-term observation has documented males giving up hunting altogether to take on the full-time role of nanny, minding the pups while the pack hunts. Others have been observed taking on the sole responsibility of head nurse, bringing food to sick packmates and nursing them back to health. It's a near-utopian team concept, not the behavior you'd expect from a pack of wild dogs.
All of the pack members will actually contribute to caring for any weaker members. For the pups, for example, every single member contributes to feeding them. They contribute to protecting them, playtime, etc. They're all very focused on those pups and making sure that they have what they need.
No two wild dogs have the same painted patterns. Scientists suspect the coloration might help them during the hunt, but no one really knows. What scientists do know is that these dogs are incredibly skilled at communicating, with vocal diversity that's comparable to dolphins. Not only do they bark and growl like a domestic dog, but they also make high-pitched chirps and long, loud howls to keep track of each other across great distances.
As with a lot of different species, they do have different calls that they'll use for different situations. We can tell what the vocalization means. If we separate the group for any reason, like sometimes we'll bring the male in to feed separated from the female so that he gets a chance to actually eat without being pestered. And the two females outside, they'll do the long call, and you know it's specifically his call that they're trying to track him down.
Working together is the key to the painted dog's survival. As members of a pack, they're strong, effective, and incredibly intelligent, making them some of the most proficient hunters in the animal kingdom. Apex predators seem to have won the evolutionary lottery. These species hunt and kill with superior strength and attack with impressive strategy and mechanics. They are at the top of their game and at the top of their food chain.